I wanted to be a nurse with MSF when I first started. And I did a diploma in tropical nursing in London. And then I realised that, gosh, these women, they really need some good midwives. These women are dying, these babies are dying. So I think we can do something about this. You should expect to feel surprised between the difference of working in a low resource country and in the UK. It can be very rewarding, it can be very frustrating. I think you can always prepare yourself saying, oh, I'm going to Africa to work as a midwife. But actually, when you get there, you go, oh, yes, it is quite different. So sometimes you think, oh, yeah, I'm working with Médecins Sans Frontières. We can help everybody. We've got everything. And still, there are barriers to being able to look after everybody that presents to your health facility. So as a midwife in the field, you will face delivering twins, breech babies, managing a postpartum hemorrhage, being the first person to look after a woman who's been raped, post-abortion care, caring for a women with a septic abortion, ectopic pregnancy, neonatal resuscitation, caring for very small preterm babies with very limited resources, eclampsia, severe preeclampsia, core prolapse. And for me, the most poignant of deliveries was face presentation. There was a lot of face presentation, brow presentation, mouth presentations that we don't really see so much in the UK, because we're seeing a lot of these complications because women are having a lot of babies in the field because they don't have contraception. So working as a midwife in the field, you may not have an abundance of certain drugs like misoprostol or ergometrin. You may also find that you don't have piped oxygen, so there won't be an abundance of oxygen cylinders. The suction's probably going to be on a foot pedal. That's a full-time job. Someone needs to be on the foot pedal while another person is suctioning. You will also find that there probably won't be a massive amount of ultrasound gel. And all of our delivery packs, we had 5 in my project. So you're probably already adding up. That means I've only got enough for 5 deliveries. So what we do with all of the instruments is they have to be sterilised. So obviously that's quite a quick turnaround. So if you've already got 3 women in labour and you've already delivered 2 babies that day, you really need to make sure that you're being quick and good communication with your sterilisation team, because otherwise you're going to run out of equipment. The worst thing about working in the field with MSF as a midwife, I think the language barrier, because there's always a barrier between you if you can't have a conversation. And that's really hard, especially in times of sadness. So when women have lost their babies, when children have died, when women die, how we communicate that with families. And I think that sometimes you don't need to speak the same language for you to understand. But I think that that's the really important thing about having your teammates around you, where they can say, I know how you feel, that happened to me last week, or, yeah, one of the kids that died last week and I felt the same, Claire. And so understanding that we are all human and that you're allowed to cry and you're allowed to be happy, but it is really hard. Some of the best things about working with MSF are the fact that I have enough stories to fill a lifetime, happy stories, and enough photos to change my background on my phone frequently to all the women that inspired me because of their resilience, and all the babies that we saved. And so the positive sides of the things that sometimes we don't focus enough on. So all the preterm babies that we could help, and all the mothers that came because they knew that they were in obstructed labour and they knew that they could have a caesarean section, they knew they would be looked after, and they knew that we could give them a blood transfusion. And seeing those women afterwards and seeing how grateful they were and their families made it all worth it.